Have you ever told yourself that you'll start on Monday only to find that when Monday came, it just came and went and you didn't do what you actually said you were going to do? This episode is going to go into all of the small ways that you can make big impact. Hello, my beautiful, gorgeous dance baby, and welcome to another episode of More Than Dance. Today, we are talking about baby steps, micro steps, little tiny steps, and how they make big movements, big momentum, and big change. So I'm going to share with you a story about my recent findings at the gym. So I've had knee surgery 4 times on my right knee, and I have a bit of a situation on my left knee. So maintaining my routine and doing the things that I love to do, the things that fuel my body, sometimes don't happen the way I want them to or I think they're going to. And it's because I get to adapt and change my routine based off of PT or healing or whatever the case is. So it's about 2 years since my surgery, maybe about 6 months since the treatment for my left knee. And I'm getting back into the swing of things. I graduated from physical therapy and I'm feeling okay. I still have a lot of pain. That's why I'm sitting like this right now, because bending my knees in this moment is just currently hurting me. So today I want to talk to you about what I did to get back into my flow, to get back into the things that I used to love doing prior to these situations, and how I was able to maintain my consistency and what I did to do that. So if you knew me before the podcast, you would know that I am a gym goer. I used to power lift. I have a lot of strength built in my current routines with dance. And also I was a competitive gymnast. So strength has always been part of my life. Lifting has always been part of my life. I mean, even in high school, I was on like the weightlifting team. I think instead of gym class, I chose that. I don't know why. And I always just loved it. I loved the gym. I started teaching fitness classes when I was, I think, 19 and became a personal trainer. I was actually the first personal trainer at my college, which was like really cool when they opened up the personal training program. It's always been an important part of my life. So for these past few months, years, it's been a little rocky with my gym routine because there's a lot of different things that I'm not doing, things that I was told not to do, and the discouragement that comes with that, the sadness that comes with that, and the comparison. There we are using that word. I never said I didn't use it. I just said that it's nice to avoid comparison, but it's only natural to compare yourself now to yourself then. And I worked really hard on living in the present moment with my current situation and practicing gratitude with that to honor where I am right now, which is I'm doing great. I have a lot of pain, and also I am doing great. So they both exist at the same time. And one of the things that I get to do now, because I've graduated physical therapy, I can get back to my leg routine. And that's very exciting for me because I like to feel strong in my legs. I mean, as a dancer, it's really important to maintain strength and also flexibility. And I think sometimes when we think about flexibility, we're not always thinking about strength. And a big, giant component of flexibility is strength. So getting back to it, and it feels great. And it still feels discouraging because there's a part of my routine that's different now. I've gotten very used to how I wake up and I go right to my computer instead of waking up and going right to the gym. And I get into my workflow and not so much in my workout flow. So in order to get back there and to change things up, I've had to kind of reorchestrate my day, which, as you know, when you have kind of a wrench thrown in your day, it's kind of difficult and it takes some time. So it's been taking some time to get into a very habitual versus there were times where I'd go and I would do the gym and then I would come back and then it was spotty. And now it's very concrete. And I'm going to show you how I did it and how you can do it too for something like, let's say, dance class. So the first thing I did was I made a commitment to myself, a timed commitment. And it was, you're going to do this every day, no matter what, for 25 days. So there was the commitment. It was manageable. It was like, well, first it started off at 17 days. And I was just like, well, let's just make it 25 days. So it's manageable. I mean, it's not a long-term thing. And I had a couple of rules. Rule number 1 was all I had to do was show up. Rule number 2, there was nothing I had to do. I didn't have to finish a complete workout, finish a routine. I could do just one workout, one exercise, and it would count. So I set the bar very, very low for myself. And that encourages consistency. And I know myself too, because I know that if I'm going to go all the way there, get all the way dressed, show up, take that time out of my day, I'm not going to go there and just do one exercise. That's just not how it is. But I could if I wanted to. I could just do one thing and leave. In terms of cardio, I had maybe like a hidden agenda of going for cardio 4 times a week. So in addition to the strength training. And I also wasn't counting it. Like maybe next month I could count it and be like, okay, you actually did go 4 times, or well, you went 5 times this time, or only twice. But this time it was just like, if I want to do it, I do it. If I don't want to do it, I don't do it. So I became very in tune with my body, yes, my mind, yes, and also this kind of like wishy-washy feeling of discipline. The discipline wasn't in what I did. The discipline was in showing up. So the same can be true for you for dance. The discipline doesn't have to be what you're executing on the dance floor. It could be just discipline to get you to the class, because that's one of the biggest obstacles is getting there, figuring out the time in your schedule to get there. So I noticed within my first few days, I was like, okay, well, this feels great. It feels part of my schedule again. It feels like I'm enjoying myself. And I had a bunch of different barriers come up that weren't really as annoying, I could say, as before, such as the lights are so bright there and I can't stand it. So I'm like, okay, I bring my sunglasses, and then I'm that weirdo wearing sunglasses at the gym because the lights are freaking so bright. The other barrier is like people being annoying. So I forgot I had like noise canceling headphones. So I started wearing those. I literally went to the gym, I think 3 days ago, and there was a woman just outright basically orgasming with her set. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my God. So just getting used to like seeing people and being around energy that I'm not used to being around, because I am very cocooned in my community at the studio and the people I choose to hang out with. We all speak a certain way. Like we don't say the word can't, or we're not like shitting on ourselves. So when you're around different energy that kind of might be like that, it becomes very shocking to me. Like, oh my God. So to stay focused and to stay not annoyed, I just pop on the sunglasses. I also don't really want to talk to people when I'm at the gym unless I do. So it's just kind of like, oh, hey, like I'm here to work out. I'm here to focus on me. So that's been very helpful, just knowing that I could tune the world out while I was there. So in terms of dance, how this could be comparable is, can you get used to the idea of showing up for a less amount of time? Like I tell students this all the time, especially for those just starting out and people who are building their endurance. Our classes are an hour or more. So if you're coming to an hour of straight cardio, you might not be ready for that. So it can be fine for you to come in, take 45 minutes of a class, and then peace out. Take 30 minutes of a class, peace out. Take part of one, take part of another, but really take it into your own hands and make it so that it's applicable for you. So this whole gym situation, it's applicable for me because I'm catering it towards me. How can you cater dance towards you? Maybe you don't feel like wearing fishnets. Maybe you don't feel like dressing up. Well, don't. Can you just organize your outfit to be leggings and a t-shirt? Well, my friend's going this night, so I'm going to go that night, and make it a commitment to each other that you're going to show up there. So I made this commitment to myself, and I told a couple of people about it, and they got inspired by the idea too. And they're like, okay, well, I'm going to do it with you. So, now when I walk into the gym, like there's a girl and she's like, oh yeah, day whatever. And the other funny part about this is right now, ask me if I went to the gym today. Ask me. The answer is no, and I'm going to tell you why. I broke my streak. I'm not going to break it entirely because I do have weights here at my house, and I do have the booty sprout, which I like to use for the butt. But it just so happens that the plumbing at the gym is completely broken, and there's apparently a big mess that they're cleaning up. And the gym is closed. In the years that I've been here, it's only closed a few times, and it happens to be in the middle of my streak. So what can I do? Well, I can figure out alternatives. I've got 10-pound weights over there. Yesterday it was closed too, so I went to my studio and I just did some things that I would do that I could do at home that don't really involve the gym, but I wanted to keep the momentum going because as we learned, momentum breeds motivation, and motivation feeds right back into momentum. And that's what we want when we're starting. So when you're thinking about doing something that's out of your schedule, that's maybe transitioning back into something that you used to do, what can you do to make it more approachable? What can you do to make the steps that seem so big and so large seem like baby steps? For me, just showing up and knowing that I could leave, that was so easy. I can't even tell you how easy it was. It was okay. All I have to do is just show up and just leave if I want. I'm not going to do that, but I could. I don't have to do a certain amount of this and a certain amount of that. Well, I did, because you'll surprise yourself too. And you'll see your body can always exceed what it knows how to do. And that's what we practice doing on the dance floor. As soon as you create a limit for yourself, we learn how to break it. I mean, look at dancers. Look at the athleticism. The flexibility is unreal. I mean, if you would say to someone who's never seen dance before and never seen a body do anything before, like a complete Martian, and said, oh yeah, this leg can actually go over here, they'd be like, no, it doesn't. But we push those limits and we push those boundaries and we make things possible. One of the funniest things about dance, especially teaching it, is how hard the movements are and how easy we make them look. So I just laugh. The other day we were at strut intro and we were doing this thing where we go down and we're using the strength of our legs, and everyone was with their face and just tension. You could just see tension. And I was like, now make it look easy. Now make it look like it's effortless. And the expectation with dance is that it looks light and graceful and beautiful. And when you're learning it for the first time, obviously, you don't realize how painful it can be. Your muscles are crapping out and your body is being so challenged. So why do we need the extra challenge of our mental getting in the way? The expectations, the judgment, the comparison getting in the way, the overthinking, the perfectionism. So how can we strip things down so that the only real hard part is the physicality of it, the endurance of it? Just because something is small or something is limited with time doesn't mean that it's not still it. So for myself, if I was to go to the gym tomorrow, let's say they're opened. Let's say I did one exercise. That small little exercise is still something more than I'm doing. It still counts. Another thing that I've been noticing that I've been doing, which is really good for my quads, especially because of my knees, is I've been foam rolling a lot more. And just because I'm showing up at the gym and they have foam rollers there, I end up taking time to roll out my quads. Spending 5 minutes doing that versus not doing that ever, it's a small little change that's very impactful. So I'm not sure if you've read the book yet. I mentioned it a couple of podcasts ago, Atomic Habits, but it talks about these micro changes that make very big results. One of the ones that stood out to me the most was this biking team. They had these uniforms and they would run these races, and the new coach decided, we're going to change the material of these uniforms to be this tiny percentage lighter so that you can go this tiny percentage faster. And what happens is it exponentially changes. So the lightness of the uniform adds to the time, feeds into the mind. There's just so much to be said about tiny incremental growth. When you make things smaller, you make things more approachable. And the more approachable it is, the more achievable it is. So with my gym experience, it wasn't really about physical results or anything visual. My focus was more on showing up. My celebration was in going, not in depending on myself to have drastic change within my body. I'm not celebrating perfection. I'm celebrating showing up. I think the key takeaway here is small isn't small if it moves you in a big way. So my little challenge to myself of go to the gym every day ended up being this very big, impactful challenge, which got me back into my routine that I haven't had for a few years. And sometimes, when you're thinking about yourself in the studio and yourself in a dance class, sometimes it's not about the power that you feel from your execution of the movement. The power becomes what you feel when you follow through with your commitment to yourself. You follow through with your time management or your balance or your ability to leave work early to get to class. So this is your written verbal permission to take your steps very small and slow as you're getting back to the studio or as you're increasing your consistency. Just know that small and consistent is better than big and spotty in terms of impact. And just remember that momentum is made from discipline, not from motivation. So if you don't feel it right now, like you really want to go and get on it, know that once you start and you start feeling that momentum build, you'll be more motivated as time goes by. So I hope this was helpful for you today, and I hope you're able to take this thought with you, not only on the dance floor, but also in terms of any other activities that you're doing or any other chores that you're doing. Maybe you're renovating your house. And if it was helpful, it would mean the world to me if you left a 5-star written review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. That's the only way this podcast can grow and help another person just like you with their dance journey. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on the dance floor.